After 7 here, I think we've got everyone, so we're going to go ahead and start getting started. One of the things we decided to do, any of you who've been coming to community councils and now community get-togethers for a while know we're constantly trying something new to see what everybody responds best to. So today we're going to do a kinetic icebreaker where you get to stand up and move around the room and test your Norwood trivia. And to help me out with that, I'm going to have some of the members of our Norwood Historic Tours Committee come up. We've got Kristen, Jeremy, and Debbie. Oh my gosh, I'm so much to talk about. And Debbie, thank you guys. All right, I'm going to hand the mic over to you.
Hello, I'm Kristen Berkey. As Alicia said, we've got Jeremy and Debbie. So what we're going to do to get started is everyone's going to stand up because kinetic means moving. All right, let's see. Noah, will you raise your hand? Noah's table is table 1. Cheryl, will you raise your hand? Cheryl's table is number 2. Cameron, raise your hand. You're number 3. And Nick, raise your hand, you're number 4. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first question only has 3 answers. So you're going to generally move near the table that you think is the right answer to the first trivia question. Okay? So, Jeremy.
All right, take it away. All right, so question number 1 for everyone. What was the original name of Norwood?
Table number 1.
Table number 1
is answer.
Okay, so answer number 1 is Northwood.
Table number 2.
Answer number 2 is Sharpsburg.
Table number 3, Cameron's table.
Answer number 3, Williamsburg. So arrange yourselves accordingly.
So if you think the answer is table 1, table 2, table 3.
Norwood, Sharpsburg, Williamsburg.
Survey says Sharpsburg.
I was going to go. That's what my intuition is.
You locked in your vote.
Final answer. No lifelines. And it seems like we have a pretty strong population in table number 2, which is Sharpsburg, correct. Good job. Pat yourselves on the back for, I guess everyone knew what they were talking about.
Just the random piece of information that goes with that is that it was established by John Sharp. So Sharpsburg, there you go. All right, question number 2, and the last of our kinetic trivia questions.
Over to Debbie.
The building on Mills that used to be the safety lane. What was the original purpose of that building?
What was
What
not?
was not
What was
an original
not?
purpose?
So there's
What was
one wrong
not?
answer.
Okay?
Oh, wait a minute. How are they going to
Go
to the wrong answer?
Yeah. So pick the answer that is not correct.
Okay. It has
Alright.
had multiple uses over the years, and this is, the correct answer is what has never been there.
Can you hear? So safety lane.
Move yourselves to
We're
the
gonna give
wrong table.
We're going to give you 4 things that it could be, and only one of them it's never been.
Victory Park, the big building in Victory Park,
Safety
along the
lane.
backside of Victory Park.
Okay, remember table number 1, table number 2, table number 3, table number 4. Answer number 1.
If you think it's never been an emissions check for your automobile, go to table 1. If you think it's never been a roller rink, go to table 2. If you think it's never been a market house, go to table 3. And if you think it's never been an auto body shop, go to table 4.
So what don't you think it's been?
No idea.
Table 1, has it never been an emissions check for your automobile. Table 2, it's never been a Rollman. Table 3, it's never been a marketplace or market house, like a Finley Market in Cincinnati. Or table 4, it's never been an auto body shop.
I'm going roller rink.
Roller rink, all right, that's all right. He has to explain that to you. You have the fake one.
Okay. It looks like we don't have anybody standing at table 4, correct?
This is four. This is three. Nobody at table 3. One answer for table.
Okay.
I'm holding.
The correct answer or the incorrect answer, however you want to look at it, it has never been an auto body shop.
Wow. That's some
So as you're moving back to your seats, let me just give you kind of a little quick update of what you could expect this year on Norwood's Historic Home Tour. This is the 6th year that we're doing the home tour again. So the home tour is not a new thing to Norwood, but it has returned in 2019. 2019, we actually had about 12 to 14 properties, some of which we actually went inside because it was before COVID. And then in 2020, obviously, we couldn't do the same type of format for obvious reasons. And it's sort of morphed over the years to what it has become. It's a tour that leaves from Victory Park. If you're interested, you would have a tour guide, which could be any of the 3 lovely people standing near me up here, or a few other wonderful people that are part of our planning committee. And a group of 10 to 15 people, you leave by bus and you move to 3 different homes around Norwood. It's about a 90-minute tour. Tickets are $15. You'll hear about the architecture and the history of the home and history of Norwood. So we have a home on Floral, a home on Forest, and a home on Hopkins Avenue this year. Curious, by a show of hands, how many of you have participated as someone who's gone on the home tour? Raise your hands. Cool. Curious if you've ever had your home highlighted on the home tour. Yes. Some of you more recently than others. Yes, exactly. Anybody that's ever had a home on the home tour before we got involved? Is there anyone in the room? Nice. I love it. Very cool.
We'll be in contact for the next
Yeah, exactly. So if you're interested in 2020, all right, there you go. That works out. So yeah, if you're interested in participating or getting tickets, they're already for sale. There's a flyer at the front where you signed in. You can scan the QR code and pick your time. They start at 2 p.m. The last tour will leave at 5:30 p.m. Or 5 o'clock, sorry. And again, it's a 90-minute tour all by bus with a little bit of walking. So, and then it will return back to Victory Park where there will be off-pike market and a fall festival. And the cidery will also be having their apple festival. So it's kind of like a whole day evening of events. So, anything else?
That was what I was going to ask.
That was it. Any questions that you guys have? Since the HVAC decided to stop at a very appropriate time.
Eerie silence.
No? Cool. Thanks. I'm going to turn it over to Alicia. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was fun. Thanks for participating, guys. You can let me know later if you enjoyed that or if we should never do it again. So I thought it was fun seeing you guys walk around and see what you know how to do. It was fun seeing who's gone to the Historic Home Tour. One of our other legacy events, Norwood Together, has a couple of legacy events that we try to do year after year. The Historic Home Tour was, I think, the first one that we started to do. Another one that we have is the International Art Show. Show of hands, who's been able to be a part of the International Art Show, either attending or having art or volunteering. It is a super fun time. We combine it with Off-Pike Market. It's part of National Welcome America Week, where we acknowledge immigrants and people from different areas who live with us. And so this art show has local folks and people who are more recently moved to our area. It's very, very cool. There's activities for the kids. Queen City Clay has things going on. So are we still taking artists for that, Ron, do you know? We are still taking art entries, and it's a really, really great time, and that is with Off Bike Market. There's more information right back there with that. Another one of our legacy events, who's been to the Gems of the Community Award Ceremony? I absolutely love that event. It is so precious. It happens in January, so keep an eye out. You'll be able to nominate anybody who volunteers in the community. It makes a difference. It's really neat. Anybody can be nominated, and we have several winners amongst us, a couple of whom are going to be talking tonight. So definitely keep your eyes posted for that so that you can honor the people who volunteer. One of those winners is Paul Boyes. He, unfortunately, looks like was not able to make it tonight, but he has partnered with Norwood Together in his efforts to make a community garden in Hunter Park. Who's been to that garden? So Emily was a woman, a community member who passed away very young with cancer, and he has started this garden in memorial of her, and also in Hunter Park, which is quite the third space for people in the community to be able to go to, but also has had some up and down interactions, and so it's been really fun to be able to pour into that. Council's done a lot there with the dog park and the new playground equipment, and now Paul is also pouring love into that and involving neighbors in that, and Norwood Together is able to act as a fiscal agent to that. So we like to be able to talk about how our micro grants, our mini grants for block parties and things like the micro park on Hudson and Floral. Those are all just ways that we try to help neighbors make their passion projects happen. So if you have such a passion project, please reach out at Norwood Together or to norwoodtogether@gmail.com or reach out to Ron or myself or anybody on our board, and we can talk to you about what that can look like. So this is kind of tonight. The goal is if you've received a welcome bag or an intro to Norwood, this is kind of it embodied in this room tonight. So our first speaker is going to be Josh Stockson. He gathers many people together with the Norwood Community Coalition, and he's going to tell you a little bit about who is involved in that and some of the great things that is going on in our community. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you. Good evening. Anybody jump on a trampoline here ever? Trampoline lovers? Kids who love trampolines? Anybody put together a trampoline? It's a painful process, right? All those springs, you gotta painstakingly. So the image of a trampoline came as I was thinking about the work of a coalition. So Norwood Community Coalition is basically a bunch of springs that are present in Norwood that hold a lot of different areas of the community together. So there's several people here tonight that are frequenters of that meeting. So the library shows up. Charlene, who I'm going to introduce maybe after me, shows up. Who else has been here? April, is that right? April has been to a meeting. So Dana has been to a meeting. Anybody else that I've missed show up to a coalition meeting? So anybody's welcome. Right now we do, it's the second Wednesday of the month, it's a Zoom. So in different iterations it's been in person. We found for people who are working and whatever, it's easier to just do Zoom so everybody can be there from wherever they're at. The goal of the coalition is really to help network people together, let them know what's happening in the neighborhood, resources that are available that they can share with their organizations and push out to people that they're connected to. So we try to connect food pantries to other food pantries. We try to connect the library to places that are trying to get the word out about youth events, things like that. So it really is an information sharing, networking meeting. So if you're interested in learning more about what is happening, or if you have things you want to share about what is happening, it's a great space to connect with other people who are doing good things. And probably one of the neatest things is when there's moments of synergy where somebody's like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about that too, how can we work together? And so then something happens in that moment that wouldn't have happened otherwise if those people hadn't met and talked. There's been several moments like that are really the funnest part of those meetings is when there's some synergy like that. I also want to just briefly mention, some of you may have heard of ASAP Norwood, so Activating Substance Abuse Prevention. This was another coalition that was active for several years, and then there was some transition, some leadership changes. It kind of went dormant. We're trying to resurrect ASAP. And part of that is to secure what's called a DFC grant. So if you're unfamiliar, it's a federal grant that really helps fund prevention work in a community to help prevent youth from using substances, alcohol, drugs, marijuana. It's a big grant, like $125,000 a year that comes for up to 5 years. So it's a pretty big deal. In order to get that, though, you need to have 12 sectors from your neighborhood represented. And I pulled those up so I can tell you, because many of you already represent those sectors. So here are the sectors: youth, parents, businesses, media, school, youth serving organizations, law enforcement, religious or fraternal organizations, civic and volunteer organizations, healthcare professionals, state, local, and tribal governments, and other organizations involved in reducing substance use. So if you're a part of any of those sectors and you'd want to see that funding come to Norwood, I'd love to talk to you. And you could be part of resurrecting ASAP and making it something that brings resources and connections back to Norwood. So thank you for your time. Thank you for what you're all doing to make Norwood a great place. And one of the people that is part of the coalition that is here tonight is Focus Cincinnati, which is a relatively new thing to Norwood. And they've started doing a community meal. They help host the food pantry at Christ the Savior Holy Spirit Orthodox Church on Ashland Avenue. And so Charlene, and I'm forgetting your friend's name. Terry, come on up.
Terry's not coming up.
Okay. I thought maybe she would want, okay. So it's been great to know Charlene. She's been doing great work. She's going to tell you more about it.
So I could tell you the joke or the punchline as to why Terry's not coming up if I could tell you that punchline. So this morning we were interviewed by Tiana Henry at Channel 9 News, and Terry got roped into being on camera. So she's like, this time when we go to this meeting, I'm not getting up there. So that's the punchline there. And if you want to see our, if I could just do a plug for that for a minute, if you want to see our little snippet, it's going to be on August 4th at 11:30 on Channel 9. But anyway, I work for Focus Cincinnati. I'm the director for the Focus Cincinnati Center. And we have meals once a month here in Norwood, hoping to ratchet it up to twice a month into 2025. And these meals are feeding between 50 to 60 people per month here in Norwood. We also have meals in Finneytown, which is our sister church, that we do the same thing. And what I've noticed is that many people from Norwood drive over to Finneytown to come to the meals because there's a definite need for feeding our neighbors in need. We've teamed up with Ashland Food Pantry. We've also teamed up with Zion Food Pantry that helps us to pass out flyers to guests so that they are aware of the meals. We also teamed up, thanks to Mary Ronan. I worked for 35 years in Cincinnati Public Schools, so Mary and I have crossed paths many, many times. She was an assistant principal when I was still a teacher, so that's like how, and we were both pregnant at the time. And if you know anything about Mary, her kid is not 5, so it's a long time ago. She had us connect with Norwood View School to connect with them, and so we're going to do a giving tree there. We're doing a backpack initiative there. And we did the 5th grade graduation in May. So it's all about, what Focus is all about, like what are we all about? We're about, it's an acronym, and we're about food, occupation, clothing, understanding, and shelter. And those are the 5 things that we are really trying to promote. Where are we in Cincinnati? We're not quite with all of those things. We just aren't. But that's where we're going. So if you could see the vision of where we're going, that's where we're going, and that's maybe the important part. There is some literature on the side over there. There's a handout that kind of gives you some data of how many people we've served so far. This does include both centers. There's also information just about Focus in general, like are you interested in just understanding what is Focus all about? Because I've been asked that, I've never heard of this. What is this all about? But we would love to have volunteers come out if you're interested. The next meal here in Norwood is going to actually be on a Friday, which is a little bit different, and it's August 9th. It'll be at 4285 Ashland, which is it's the church that's like behind, depending on what direction you go in, the Ashland Church. So, but we'd love to have you. It's all about kind of not only connecting with our neighbors in need, but having people to connect with our neighbors in need. So again, if you would like to come out, I know that from council, Natalie Asaf came out last time because she gave information about how she can connect services for some of our guests. So again, we welcome anybody who wants to speak. We welcome anybody who wants to, work with our guests and to give them and provide them with information. So that's all I have. I don't know who I'm turning over to.
Thank you so much. I love that you heard over and over again, connecting. And that is what Norwood Together is all about, connecting and strengthening Norwood. So we don't have our hands in all of this that's happening, but we love supporting what amazing people are doing, because that's what a lot of this is. Connecting in this world can be very hard with no local newspaper right now and everybody just functioning a little bit differently than maybe in past times. One of the great ways you can connect if you are on Facebook is through Norwood Strong. Cameron Kelly and Adrian Pride were two of our Gem of the Community winners this year, and the work that they do being admin for the Norwood Strong Facebook group is pretty cool. So that group started after the floods that happened in 2016, and I, for one, am very grateful for it. So Cameron, tell us some of your experience with Norwood Strong and what you do with that.
Thank you. Again, my name is Cameron. A lot of you know me. If you see me on Facebook, I look exactly like my profile picture. You'll have to go see what that means. So Norwood Strong was formed back during the flood of 2016. We did not have a community Facebook page at that point, and all of a sudden there was this crisis with a lot of people in need and a lot of resources that needed coordination. And James Bonzel was on council at the time, and James is, you can raise your hand, James. James, I'm going to embarrass him. He's currently our treasurer. He founded the page and quickly realized the need for a team because it ramped up into a lot. I think back in those days, we were probably getting 50 posts a day just with people in need, cleaning out basements, needing help fixing furnaces, water heaters, etc. So after the flood had passed, we were kind of faced with where does this page go and what has it morphed into? And it's morphed into kind of the central, I'm going to call it the pulse of the community. If you want to know what's going on in Norwood, a lot of people, in fact, we just had somebody join a couple months ago that said, where's the best place to find information about what's going on in Norwood? And somebody said here. A lot of people said here. So we've had a number of admins and moderators over the years. It definitely is a time-consuming job. Currently, we have one moderator, two admins, and then James is still kind of in the background there as an admin, but has kind of handed it off to the rest of the team and is not really involved in the day-to-day operations. We try to keep things positive, but not over-moderate, which is kind of a difficult balance. In any community Facebook page, it can get kind of crazy, and we try to let people express their opinions, but we try to keep it positive as well. So I think if any of you join, you'll find it to be a little bit different than your typical community Facebook page. We do focus on Norwood only, which is a little bit different. You will not see posts from a lot of different organizations outside of Norwood, which is also present on a lot of other community pages. We really want it to be about Norwood. We don't have any politics on there. We have a really strict rule about politics because we want it to be a place where people feel like they can come and not have to deal with politics. That it can be kind of a safe place for that. We do have post approval, which we have implemented in order to make sure that we get good quality content. There's sometimes the things that get posted that need to be vetted a little bit to make sure they're true. We want to make sure that good information is getting out there. But we do have kind of almost around the clock team. One of us is an early morning person, one of us is kind of a midday person, and then one of us is a night owl. So we really, really do try to kind of have round the clock service, if you will. So if anybody is interested more in the page, wants to talk a little bit more about what's going on there, feel free to grab me before you leave. Thank you.
Definitely a fantastic resource if you're still on Facebook, which I hope that you are, because it is a great way to hear what's going on. So that's the unofficial way of finding things out. But fortunately, we also have a very responsive city administration and city council. So we'll move into that realm now, and Noah Powers is going to tell us a little bit of how you can contact the city administration. Thanks, Noah.
So when I was asked to talk about how do you connect with the city, the thing that really kind of stuck out in my head is who is the city? So I wanted to kind of run through a little bit of who's around and maybe help you as you try to reach out to us and talk about any issues you might have. So City of Norwood is a statutory city, so that means that we operate the way the Ohio Revised Code tells us to. And what that part of that is we have 12 elected officials. So we've got the mayor, the law director, the auditor, the treasurer, president of council, who is right here, treasurer is right over here, and then we have 7 council members. Now, none of those positions are full-time positions, so if you stop into City Hall in the middle of the day, you might see some of them around, but they're probably off doing their day jobs like everybody else is. So if you're looking for the folks who are there 40 hours a week, who are basically your regular city employees, there's a number of departments. So I'm the safety service director for the city. How many people know what a safety service director is? Just a few. So I get a lot of weird looks when I say safety service director, and people ask me if I do a lot of work with security cameras, which I do not. So basically what I am is I'm sort of Norwood's closest corollary to a city manager, sort of a city administrator. So I oversee most of the day-to-day operations of the city. That includes, I have to look at my list here because it's a number of departments. Police, fire, building, public works, water, the utility and the building side, the recreation department, community development, human resources, and NORCOM, who is our communications and IT team. So, probably thinking, okay, that's about everybody, right? Not quite. So, another thing that we have is we have a number of boards that operate through the city. So we have things like the Planning Commission, which reviews our zoning, makes recommendations to council if we want to, do a big development like what's going on over at Factory 52. The Planning Commission is heavily involved in how that plan gets put together. So the Planning Commission meets once a month, first Wednesday of the month at 3:30. A couple of other big boards. We have a Board of Zoning Appeals. We have Civil Service Commission. Civil Service Commission is the group that's doing the testing for our civil service position. So when we put out an ad, it's a civil service job. You actually come in and take a test for that, and they give us a list of everybody who's qualified. We also have the Board of Health that oversees the Board of Health. And then, obviously, the City Council, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Board. There's also some other ones, Tree Board, Tax Appeals Board, lots and lots of boards, and those all require a lot of involvement from different people around the community. So how do you connect with those folks? A couple of ways. Online, city's got an online presence. We have a website. We have 3 Facebook pages. There's one for the general city business, one for the rec department, one for the police departments. Our website has a lot of events on that. If you scroll down to the bottom, we have kind of a news section that's regularly updated. And you can also apply for jobs, see what jobs are available right through the website. Day-to-day operations, we're at 4645 Montgomery Road. It's the building that looks suspiciously like a government building. It's got big columns in front of it. The Norwood Rec Center on Sherman Avenue. If you have not been to our rec center before, definitely worth a visit. And then we have the community center, which you obviously all know how to get to that. So public meetings, second and fourth Tuesdays of the month at 7:30 are city council meetings. Like I said, the Planning Commission meets the first Wednesday of the month at 3:30. Board of Zoning Appeals meets the third Wednesday of each month at 6 p.m. And then the Board of Health meets the second Tuesday of each month at 5:15 p.m. And then the last thing I want to do is kind of remind everybody of a really good way to connect with the city is the See, Click, Fix app. Got kind of a handout back here on the table which has a link to take you to that QR code. You can go through that app, and if you see a pothole, if you see a dangerous tree, if you see garbage or tall weeds, you can take a picture of it and report it straight to the city, and it gets routed right to the department that it needs to go to. So you can get the issue taken care of pretty quickly that way.
Thank you. Great. See, Click, Fix is fantastic. Definitely potholes, broken park equipment. You should definitely have that app on your phone. So he mentioned part of that is the recreation department. So April Maloney is going to come and talk about that. She is one of the new hires and has a really exciting position reaching out to the youth and the senior citizens. So I can't wait to hear more about that. She's done some meet and greets and stuff, so maybe you've already met her, but.
I have notes, so I hope that's okay. All right. So good evening to everyone. It's great to see so many faces that I know and some that I don't know. Let's see here. I want to thank Miss Alicia and Norwood Together for having me again. It's very nice to see you again. My name is April Maloney, and I am the Senior Center Program Coordinator here at the Community Center. Starting off and mainly focusing on the senior program. Many of you have heard that some of the information that I'm about to talk about, and some of you, this is going to be some new news, but for everyone, you're going to hear about the progress that we are making. Our senior programs and goals for the center have not changed. We want to provide a well-rounded selection of programs to everyone, and most importantly, we want to have fun doing that. Our open house was on June the 4th. Okay, sorry. Our open house was June 4th, so we've only been open for 6 weeks. I have to note that it was a huge success. We had 70 people there. Since then, I've signed up almost 60 of those seniors, so I'm very excited about that. In those 6 weeks, we've started or restarted several of those programs. I'd like to go over just a typical week of what that looks like here at the center. Mondays and Wednesdays are aquatic days, so indoor and outdoor swimming. We have Tai Chi in the evenings. We also rotate transportation to and from Walmart and Meijer every other Wednesday. Tuesdays are field trip days. We do outings such as go to lunch. We just went to a meat market, a bakery. On the calendar, we have Crone Conservatory coming up. We also have a farmer's market, museum. I like to try to mix it up a little bit and not just do eating, even though we all know that food kind of brings everybody together and everybody loves to eat. I'm having some bus issues right now, but I'm making some conversation with people, and looks like we're maybe hopefully handling that. I'm turning seniors away. It's so exciting that everybody wants to sign up for the field trip. So that's a very exciting problem to have, but hopefully we can resolve that. Thursdays we have yoga, lunch here in the cafeteria, and bingo. So Thursday was a happening day. I had to scoot everybody out so we could bring all of you guys in, or you're going to have to play bingo with everybody else. So lunches are paid for by donations and sponsorships. Friday we head to Kenwood Mall, do a little walking, and Tai Chi again at night. So as you can see, we have a very busy week here at the center. We recently had club day, and that went really great. So just kind of forming some relationships, matching likes with likes. What do you like to do? Do you like to knit? Oh, I like to knit. And just kind of, bringing people together. So that's kind of what we're looking to do. Our lunches here have been a huge success. We typically have anywhere between 40 to 60 seniors, and that number just keeps growing every week. So that's very exciting. That's very exciting. The fire department came and sponsored a lunch, and they grilled out for us, and for some reason that was a really big hit. I'm not sure why. I can't figure that out. We remodeled our senior lounge and added a coffee bar. That's open Monday 9 to 3, and also the side ramp, so our center is open 9 to 3. So that's a little different, and I wanted to point that out. So before, the building was pretty much locked during the day. So just so you know, and your mom knows, your aunt knows, your grandma knows, the center is open, so you can come have coffee with me every day. I would love to see you. At all of our programs, we have Miss Catherine here from the public library. We have a book club. So we have lots of fun things going on, but just so you know, the ramp is open every day. The lounge is open Monday through Friday, 9 to 3. We have a sponsor for our coffee bar, which is very exciting. So we have supplies for the coffee, we have tea, we have hot chocolate. We've been very blessed with that. You can come hang out. We have a 70-inch TV. We have people that come out, just kind of watch a movie and just chill in there. We have books, we have games, we have whatever you'd like to do, just to kind of get away from the house, hang out. Just a fun place to go. We have 2 different memberships I'd like to point out. We have a basic community center membership. That is $25. That covers just things that go on here and different activities that go here. We have a community center, recreation center, and waterworks. That's $80 a year or $8 a month. So it just kind of depends on what you're looking for, what kind of best suits your needs. So that's that. Let's see, what else? If you have silver sneakers or Renew Active, that kind of covers everything, so that's free of charge.
What are the ages that?
So yeah, that's a great question. So really, I always say I'm not going to cart you out the door. So I'm gonna welcome you with open arms, but really kind of 55 and above. Yeah, that's a great question. We do have a monthly newsletter and calendar, so that usually comes out about a week prior to the month coming up. There is some calendars in the back. There's some recreation information in the back that I would love for you to pick up. After the meeting, I'm going to unlock the lounge. I would love to give you a tour. So we updated the senior office and the lounge. I know some of you have looked at it, but I would love to give you a peek if you haven't seen it. It's amazing. They did a great job on it. Also, we have renovated the bar back in the back there. So lots of updates that we're trying to do to really kind of, make us like stand out. And we really needed to do some updates, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Any questions for me? You guys are a quiet crowd. I know, you're so quiet. All right, well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Dana's got a question.
Yes.
If we know a senior in our neighborhood, what's the sort of best way we bring them over here?
So I've got
somebody in mind.
So, yeah, absolutely. So I have a card to give you, and you've got my information, I'm sure. But again, Monday through Friday, 9 to 3, they can come down and chat with me. So there is a membership form. Something new that we have is membership cards. So just like the rec center, you'll get a membership card. So every time they come down, we'll scan their card. We want to make sure that what we're doing is working, and we're growing the program and doing all the right things and offering things for everyone. And just like at the rec center, like we have the yoga, we have the Tai Chi, we're trying to bring more programs here, and we're offering the right things and what people are wanting. And so with the membership cards, we want to keep track of, again, what they're wanting, what they're doing, what they're coming for. So that's new, and actually they're taken to it. They're really liking that. They like feeling like, oh, I'm a part of something. I belong to something. So my point being, when she comes down, we'll get her signed up and get her a membership card. But something that we are letting them try, so maybe she doesn't want to commit right away. So if she wants to come down and have lunch with us one Thursday, she wants to just come out and try a yoga class, and before she kind of commits, she can come down and just kind of try it out. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I love that. It's so exciting to see the rec center taking off and April's program taking off. I've heard from a lot of people that, we wish that we had more senior programming. The Parks Department is doing so much, and it's really just exciting to see, the places get renovated and things really taking off. Another thing that got renovated was council. So with that, we'll segue to Joe Gears, our president of council. Tell us about what's going on. We have our many council members come and are here for us, and Joe's going to give us a little overview of all of them.
Used to being mic'd, so I'll probably just yell tonight if you all can hear me. I did bring a sample of a council packet in case anyone is interested in what members of council receive before each meeting. Noah kind of touched on some of the high-level council stuff. So we do have 7 members of city council. They are all elected. There are 3 who are at-large members. There are 4 who are elected in each of the wards within the city. Their terms, they're 2-year terms, myself included. We all have 2-year terms, except for the mayor, law director, treasurer, and auditor. They all have 4-year terms. So for those of us on council, the term began January 1st, 2024, and it will run through December 31st of 2025. So all of those council seats, including president of council, are up for election or re-election November of 2025. Meetings, second and fourth Tuesday of the month. Norwood City Hall, they all start at 7:30. As far as the business of council, we approve and discuss legislation involving matters pressing the city, from contracts, appropriations, so money in the budget, approving the purchase of large pieces of equipment, fire trucks, cruisers, pickup trucks, recognizing groups or citizens throughout the year. So we do the resolution for Black History Month, for Pride Month. I have other ones listed here. Recent accomplishments or recently passed legislation. Historical markers for Marsh Park and Norwood Mound. Authorizing application process for certain grant funding. Approving funding for street projects and some of those recently, Lincoln Avenue, Ralston, Norwood Lateral, Smith and Carthage are 561. With some of those, it is also approving the contract with state or county. Elm Avenue Flood Elimination Project. Council recently supported a state legislation to rename the Norwood Lateral the Bridget Kelly Norwood Lateral. We updated the yard sale ordinance to allow for the citywide street sales to take place in May and September without requiring an ordinance or resolution passed every May and every September. It's now built in, it's ongoing. Council also approves community reinvestment applications. Most recent one was United Dairy Farmers. They'll be investing $24 million into their plant and offices at Montgomery, Williams, Mentor, that block, and Hopkins. No, Ivanhoe. Council committees. There are currently 6 committees within council. They either meet regularly, so we have standing meetings, or they will meet whenever there is an item placed into that committee. So council is committee of the whole, that is made up of all members of council. And we meet the first Tuesday of the month at 6:30 at City Hall. Current items that we're working on are current things in committee of the whole, community survey, a master plan for the city, standard operating procedures for city council, and then also a new council orientation. The other committees that we have: law, ordinance, human resources, and compliance, finance, budget, audit, and claims, infrastructure, streets, parks, recreation, and public places. There's no way I'd be able to memorize these, that's why I don't do it now. Small business and economic development, and housing, health, environment, and public safety. So those are all made up by the different members of council. I believe most of those have 4 members, again, with the exception of council and committee of the whole. That is myself and all 7 members of council. Council and committee meetings are available through the Norwood Community Television's YouTube channel, which is the Norwood channel. You can also access them on the Norwood Community Television Facebook page, so you can view all of the videos for those meetings that are recorded. If you want to join the Sunshine List, so what is the Sunshine List? If you want to receive notification of any future city meetings, boards, so city council, all of the council committees, arts board, what's the recent one? Financial Planning and Supervision Commission, all of these meetings, if you want to know when these city meetings take place, you can sign up to join the Sunshine List. There are 2 ways that you can do that. If you go to the city website, which is norwoodohio.gov, go to How Do I, then click on Sign Up for City News General Interest. You'll enter your email address. There's a field to enter your email address. Click the Notify Me Sign In button. Check the envelope icon next to all the meetings that you would like to receive a notification on, or there's an option to select all. There's also an option to receive a text message if you enter your cell number. The other option is to send an email to council@norwoodohio.gov and request that you get added to the Sunshine List. As far as how to contact an elected official, you can go to the city website, click on the government link, click on city council. That will give you all of the email addresses for your council representatives. If you want to get a hold of me, my email address for the city is jsgears@norwoodohio.gov. I also have business cards for anyone who is interested. And if you want to know what council members are on all of the committees, I do have that, as well as a copy of the standing rules of council. Anything that is not covered in the standing rules of council, we go along with Robert's Rules of Order. Questions? Yes?
What is the difference between a regular council meeting and a committee of the whole meeting?
Committee of the whole, we cannot vote or pass anything. That is I guess if you want to look at it, it's an informal meeting. So
You don't follow the Robert's Rules of Laws for that, do you? It's a conversation.
It's mostly discussion based. I don't have to be referred to as Mr. President and all that fun stuff. Someone doesn't have to wait to speak. They just kind of throw it out there or raise their hand. But yeah, we can't vote. We don't vote on anything. We cannot vote on anything in a committee of the whole meeting. We cannot take any action. We can make suggestions and then report that out in the committee report at a council meeting. At that point, council can take formal action during the council meeting. But the committee of the whole it is a public, informal opportunity for council to discuss matters without taking action.
Because you guys can't talk, all of you.
Correct,
Without
or the
being-
majority.
Okay, a majority, right.
Yes,
right,
yes, we cannot have a quorum discussing city matters without the public not only made aware, but also able to see what is going on.
So I think that's something pretty cool about Norwood. You can sit down if you want,
All
or
right.
you can sit. If anybody has any questions, any other questions, it's pretty neat to live in a small town. It's very fun, a small city. It's very fun to go to a council meeting. I've taken my oldest daughter there. Her Girl Scouts was there. It's really neat to see how it works, and it's really neat that Norwood Community Television makes it possible that we can see these things online, so you can see what's happening. Highly recommend signing up for the Sunshine List. Again, you can email council for that. And then if there's any contact information that you want from something happening tonight, you can email Norwood together for that, and I can make sure that you get the answers, because there's been a lot of information tonight. Like, this is supposed to be a lot of information that can help you dive deeper later. So we definitely want you that. You can contact me if you don't remember somebody who's also, I will post an image of all the contact information for everybody who is here tonight. If you're watching online and you want that, it will be on Norwood Together's Facebook page and also in our community newsletter that will come out later. So make sure you give us your email address,
Sign up at norwoodtogether.org for our newsletter. And then our final presenter, we have Alice with Women's Club. She's also got an announcement. Norwood Day, who's gone to Norwood Day in the past? I am so glad that I was able to go to Norwood Day last year because it was unfortunately the last time at Coney Island. However, super exciting, Norwood Day will now be held in Norwood and on a weekend, at least for right now. So tell us about Norwood Day and Women's Club.
I prepared nothing and forgot that I was going to do this. I almost didn't show up because I was at a school board meeting. You want to know what happened at the school board meeting? Women's Club meets right here every third Tuesday. Any woman who's ever lived in Norwood, does live in Norwood, likes Norwood, it doesn't matter. You can come and be with us. 6:30, right here where you're sitting, third Tuesdays. We eat a little, we follow an agenda where we update things like the Treasury report, and the Floral and Friends, and Norwood Day planning is a lot of it. And then Christmas Town planning. And Norwood Day is a fundraiser. It's our major fundraiser for Women's Club. So, as you know, it was always held at Coney Island, and even before we existed, which was 1934 when we started, Norwood Day existed before us. I don't know what the history is of how it fell into our hands, but it did at some point. I don't know. But it's a very old, long Norwood tradition, and when we knew that Coney Island was going to close, we didn't know exactly when it would happen, but for me, that was really heartbreaking, knowing that Norwood Day is one of Norwood's oldest and dearest traditions, and so many people would tell us stories of how they would ride the boat to Coney Island, and the whole city would shut down, and everybody would go, and it was amazing, and I'm like, we cannot let this die. And yes, what we're doing this year is nothing like that, but it still is really important to keep it alive and to keep supporting the Women's Club, because we use that money to give it to the band, and give it to the orchestra, and give it to the Boy Scouts, and give it to any organization that asks us for us. And the Senior Center is one of the major places that we give the money to. So it will be in 2 days at Victory Park, and we picked that because so it's usually the Wednesday right after the parade, which is horrible for people these days because most people need to go to work. So it's really hard for them to go to Norwood Day. So we knew when Norwood Day was ending at Coney, the first thing was, we're having it on the weekend, not on Wednesday, because that's crazy. So we knew we couldn't have it the weekend after because that's the Holy Trinity Festival. So that leaves us with the weekend before. Well, the weekend before is already off Pike Market. Okay, we don't want to split people at different events, so we're inserting ourselves into Off Pike Market because you're already going to Off Pike Market, right? So just also do Norwood Day while you're there. And actually we start at noon and they don't start till 3. And so another big thing was, okay, so we're not going to have a pool anymore. Can we do something with water? And personally, I wanted a bunch of bouncy houses with water and a big foam pit. And the other ladies did not do that. But there will be water. It's a bucket, and it'll dump on people, and it's going to dump on James Bonzel. And if any of you want to be a person who gets water dumped on them or wants to throw the ball to hit the thing that makes, it's a bucket, and it's got this thing, and it lifts up, and all the water comes rushing out of it onto the person. So you can be the person to hit the ball and get the person dumped. It's like a safer dunking tank, but easier. So you can be the person to get water dumped on you. You can be the person to throw a ball and you get the water dumped. There'll be some cornhole tournaments going on, but the major thing is our raffle, and that is always how we made our money at Coney Island too, is that raffle. So please support our raffle. We have a lot of really cool stuff that you could win. And this year, you're going to get to pick the thing you want to put your raffle ticket in. What else? There's food. I think that's my alarm going off. I'm so sorry.
Norwood buy alcohol because they're considering money to us.
All right, go to Northwood Cidery. That's a big part of our plan this year too. Northwood Cidery said, if you have it near us, we will donate profits to you, portion of the profits. So please patron them while you're there and stay by there because we do not have a permit and we are not wanting a permit to have alcohol in the park. So do not go over there, but it's just like every off-pike market. The cidery is always open and always has a little beer garden there. So just as always, it will be the same, but they will donate some of their profits to us, which is great, and I thank them very much. Help me think, Liz. Anything else? Come hang out with us on third Tuesdays. It's super fun. We are fun.
Any other questions for us? I want to point out that the fundraiser for Women's Club is not just for Women's Club to do their things. They give back to the community.
Right, it's for us to give it to other people.
Yes, Christmas Town is an amazing event that is free, and the kids can do carriage rides and merry-go-round and all sorts of fun things for that. And also, they have a scholarship fund that does amazing things for our Norwood grads. So yes, it is a Women's Club fundraiser, but for Norwood to benefit from, not their
scholarships. 3.
So super, super cool. Very excited about that. Everybody turn out for Norwood Day. It's going to be great. We mentioned Norwood Together's legacy events. Obviously, Norwood's legacy events have been going on for much longer. Norwood Day, the Norwood Day Parade is next Tuesday. I believe it's put on by the Chamber of Commerce, and I believe it starts at 5:30. Am I right at that? If you would like to walk with Norwood together, 7, not at all 5:30. Sorry. The Norwood Day Parade starts at 7. So come out for that. It's always a fun time along Montgomery Road. And then Christmastown is another huge and Holy Trinity Festival. So July is a happening month for Norwood. Behind me here in more Connecting with Norwood, this was for a tour that we gave for people who came to the Congress for the New Urbanism. People were able to sign up for the tour to see Norwood, and these were some of the things that we highlighted. Of course, there's so much that you could highlight, but this is some of the economic development that's happening in our city. So if any of this sparks your interest, you can take a picture and email it to me, and we can tell you more about it, or you can snatch one of us and we can tell you about it. So does anybody have any questions on the fire hose of information that just came at you? Any questions? Anything that you want connected with, or something you were hoping to hear that you haven't yet? Okay, awesome. Well, have fun. Eat more sandwiches, cookies. There's chips on the back thing. Make sure you check out the flyers that are along the back table for the rec center and other things. And we will see you for the next get together. Thank you all.